In the sterile glow of the delivery room, Alexander Harrington III let out his first cry, a sound that pierced the air like a fragile promise. But as the nurses swaddled him and handed him to his parents, something felt off. His tiny eyes fluttered open, wide and curious. But when his father, the renowned tech mogul Victor Harrington, clapped his hands sharply beside the bassinet, the baby didn't flinch. No startle, no response. The room fell silent, and in that void, a father's world shattered. Little Alex was born deaf, a genetic anomaly that no amount of Harrington wealth could foresee or prevent. Victor Harrington had built an empire from nothing. Orphaned young, he'd clawed his way through Silicon Valley, turning a garage startup into a billion-dollar AI conglomerate. His wife, Elena, a former concert pianist, had dreamed of sharing symphonies with their child. But now, as they stared at their perfect son, flawless in every way except the one that mattered most, their dreams curdled into despair. "We'll fix this," Victor declared that night, his voice a steel blade against the darkness. Elena nodded, tears streaming, but deep down she wondered if some things were beyond even his reach. The early years were a whirlwind of specialists and false hopes. Victor spared no expense. Cochlear implants were attempted at 6 months, but Alex's delicate inner ear structures rejected them, leading to infections that left him weaker. Gene therapy trials in Europe promised miracles, but after months of travel and isolation, the results were negligible. Alex could feel vibrations. Elena's hand on his chest as she hummed lullabies, but the world of sound remained a locked door. Victor's boardroom confidence crumbled at home. He'd pace the marble halls of their San Francisco mansion, barking orders at invisible enemies. "Why him? Why us?" he'd mutter, his empire feeling hollow without an heir who could hear the roar of success. Elena, though, adapted with quiet grace. She learned American Sign Language ASL faster than anyone expected, her pianist fingers dancing through signs like a new melody. She enrolled Alex in a specialized preschool where he thrived among other deaf children, his laughter silent but infectious. Yet the strain showed. Victor's absences grew, business trips to Asia, mergers that couldn't wait, leaving Elena to bear the emotional weight. "He's happy, Victor," she'd sign to him during rare family dinners, Alex blissfully stacking blocks nearby, "but he deserves more." Victor would nod, but his eyes betrayed the guilt. A father who could buy islands but couldn't buy his son a whisper. Enter Dr. Lila Voss, the she who would upend their lives. Lila wasn't part of Victor's elite circle. She was a reclusive bioengineer, once a rising star at MIT before vanishing into obscurity after a lab accident scarred her hands and her reputation. Rumors swirled. She'd been experimenting with neural interfaces, blending AI with human biology in ways ethics boards deemed reckless. Victor discovered her through a desperate late-night search, her name buried in obscure forums. "She's a quack," his advisors warned. But desperation has a way of silencing doubt. He tracked her to a rundown lab in the Nevada desert where she worked alone, funded by anonymous grants. Their first meeting was tense. Lila, mid-40s with silver-streaked hair and eyes like storm clouds, regarded Victor with skepticism. "Money doesn't impress me, Mr. Harrington. What makes you think I can help your son?" Victor laid out Alex's file, his voice cracking for the first time in years. "Because you've done the impossible before. I read about your prototype, the one that restored sensation to paralyzed patients." Lila's scarred hands trembled slightly as she flipped through the pages. "That was different. Sound, it's not just nerves, it's the soul's window." But something in Alex's photo, a boy's innocent smile amid medical charts, softened her. "Bring him here." "No." Promises. The family relocated to Nevada for the summer, a stark contrast to their opulent life. Alex, now 5, was wary at first, his small hands signing questions about the weird lady with robot arms. Lila's lab was a chaotic wonder, wires snaking across tables, holographic displays flickering with brain scans, and in the corner, a mysterious prototype she'd been tinkering with for years. A neural symphony device, she called it. It wasn't an implant, it was something ethereal, a blend of quantum computing and biofeedback that bypassed damaged ears entirely. interfacing directly with the auditory cortex. Challenges mounted like desert storms. Alex's initial sessions were grueling. Lila would strap a lightweight headset to his head, its nodes glowing faintly as it mapped his brainwaves. But the boy resisted, pulling it off in tantrums, his signs frantic. "It tickles! Scary!" Elena held him through the tears, her own heart breaking anew. Victor, unaccustomed to failure, clashed with Lila. "This isn't working! You're wasting our time!" he'd shout, only for Lila to retort, "Patience isn't a luxury for the rich, it's a necessity for miracles." Beneath the arguments lay deeper wounds. Lila confessed one night over coffee that her own daughter had died young from a rare neurological disorder, fueling her obsession. "I couldn't save her," she whispered, "but maybe I can save him." As weeks blurred into months, bonds formed. Alex warmed to Lila, dubbing her Aunt Sparks for the device's faint hum. Elena found solace in Lila's stories, two mothers united by loss. Victor, humbled, began learning ASL properly, signing bedtime stories to Alex under the stars. The key challenge emerged during a breakthrough test. The device overloaded, causing Alex a migraine that left him bedridden for days. Doubt crept in. Had they pushed too far? Elena confronted Victor. "We can't keep chasing cures if it hurts him more." But Alex, resilient as desert sage, signed from his bed, "Try again. I want to hear Mommy's music." The turning point came on a scorching August afternoon. Lila had refined the prototype, incorporating AI algorithms from Victor's company, irony not lost on him. As Alex sat in the lab, headset secured, Lila pulled out the mysterious component, a small, iridescent crystal vial from her pocket. "This is the heart of it," she explained, her voice steady. "A synthesized neural enhancer derived from bioluminescent deep-sea organisms. It amplifies signals without invasion. No one knew she'd smuggled it from her old MIT days, a forbidden elixir blending nature and nanotechnology." She injected a microdose into the device's reservoir, and the room held its breath. The device activated with a soft chime. Alex's eyes widened. At first, nothing. Then, Lila played a single note on a keyboard. A pure C. Alex jerked, his hands flying to his ears. What is that?" he signed, confusion etching his face. But then tears welled. Here?" The room erupted. Elena sobbed, playing a simple melody on her portable piano. Alex's laughter rang out. Not silent this time, but echoed by his own voice, tentative and wondrous. "Mommy, beautiful." The impossible had happened. Over the next weeks, the device stabilized, allowing Alex to hear progressively more: birdsong in the desert, Victor's deep laugh, the crash of waves when they returned home. Challenges lingered, fine-tuning to prevent overloads, navigating a world suddenly noisy, but resolutions came through unity. Victor funded Lila's research openly, turning her lab into a foundation for neural innovations. Elena composed a symphony inspired by their journey, premiering it with Alex in the front row, his face alight with sound. Years later, Alex Harrington stood on a TED stage, the device now a sleek earpiece, sharing his story. "I was born in silence," he said, his voice clear and confident, "but love and innovation gave me a voice. It's not about fixing what's broken, it's about bridging what's possible." The audience rose in applause, but in the wings, Victor, Elena, and Lila watched with quiet pride. The millionaire's son had taught them all. True wealth lies in the echoes of perseverance, the harmony of hope, and the courage to pull out the mysterious when the world demands the ordinary. In the end, their story wasn't just about hearing, it was about listening. To each other, to dreams deferred, to the whisper of miracles in the most unlikely places. And in that they found not just sound, but symphony.